Connor Zilisch made his Cup Series debut. Didn't quite qualify as well as he looked in practice when he fired off about a second faster in the top three. That was in Xfinity. He was a second faster in the field, but he unfortunately gets involved in that incident in turn one where he launches over Denny Hamlin's right side, then comes all the way back through the field and drives from like outside the top 25 into the top 15. But then, is there, and there's a wreck with the 99 spinning out, and he chooses to go right. Can't see anything. All he sees is smoke and smashes into Daniel Suarez.
Yeah.
In a hard
hit. The only
hit.
thing I hated about that for him was it looked like he was trying to race past the wreck. And it just seemed like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, you never know when NASCAR's going to throw caution, not throw caution, so I don't blame you for that. But there is that, like, level of sort of experience and patience in it all that's just like, hey, step one, protect your car.
Yep.
Right? Then we can race through a wreck. It obviously, in hindsight, it's 2020 for him, but I'm sure he would rather have not raced through the wreck, got past it clean, and then, lost 5 seconds to the field, which ultimately wouldn't have, he would have got it back.
Yeah, I mean, he said all he could see was the smoke, and he was kind of on the outside and just in an awkward position. But to your point, had this been his 30th Cup race, that maybe wouldn't have been a wreck, right?
Right.
And I did see a tweet from Kyle Busch who said, "Hey, man, you'll have a bright future. I finished dead last in my first Cup race," which someone posted on Twitter today, and it was Kyle hitting the wall twice, which he had done, I think, in qualifying as well off of turn 4, and then was done in 11 laps in at Hendrick, the 84.
That's great. Well said from a legend.
Yeah, well said.
I'm a big fan of Connor's, though. I think a lot of people are.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't say enough nice things about him at Xfinity, which we'll dive into. But in terms of a report card on the weekend, I mean, the speed is insane. The kid is unbelievably fast. He has maturity.
High racing IQ.
Yeah, high racing IQ, a level of maturity. I just cannot believe he's 18, and the way he speaks and the way he talks about the mental side of racing, how much he understands how mental it is and how much he's worked on that. And Adam Alexander tells a good story of like when he was racing go-karts in Europe, he was working with a sports psychologist because he was struggling a little bit. And I was like, man, he to me is the modern day race car driver in the idea that, one, he did road courses and oval stuff in his upbringing, worked with a sports psychologist early, went to the hardest places, went through the tough times, became stronger because of it, and now has shown up to the higher ranks of NASCAR. And he's going to be, there's no doubt in my mind that he's on the fast path to Cup and he will be successful. So it's just like, hey, this was bound to happen. And the speed he has, the maturity and the composure is just amazing.
So he's for those keeping up, he's in a generation of drivers that have been properly developed from a very young age.
Yep.
In a professional manner, right? He wasn't, developed along in his own way. And then when he turned 18, NASCAR teams all of a sudden said, hey, what do we do with this guy? Right. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that's almost a test tube race car driver since he was
a great term.
In his early teens.
Yep.
And, that's why if you look at that pipeline of drivers right now in the U.S., you have him, Brent Cruz, the Quapple brothers. Like, these are guys that have been professionally developed from a very young age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just something, there's no surprise that you're seeing what you're seeing out of him. It's not, I'm sure he was born with it, right? There's a lot of natural talent there, but this is a guy that since he was in his early teens has been well trained to be a professional race car driver.
I had a Cup driver and I were texting today, and he was like, what's become apparent is it depends what system you're in. And average drivers in a great system are able to get into good situations and have success. Mm-hmm. Great drivers with no system maybe will have success, but doesn't really pan out. And, just good in a great system can have outsized results. And great in a great system equals Connor Zilisch. Like that's basically what it's come down to, is that similar to other sports. If you look at soccer in Europe where kids are in the, junior clubs at 12 years old, and then they go all the way through that club's, system to eventually become a Premier League soccer player. That's what is happening in motorsports as well. In different, not quite that level, but like if you want if you want to imagine it to other sports, it's like you have to be in that system of instruction and understanding and basically, the plan of what you're going to drive and where and why and that sort of thing. And it all compounds into being that when you get to the Cup Series or to the top 3 NASCAR ranks, you're far more prepared than a great driver that's been in no system. So I'm giving him a very, passing grade on that one. I think he's going to be fast.